The Kelvin Empire had ruled the outer spiral arms for 3,000 years. Their military analysts were the best in known space. When they detected a lone human warship drifting near the border, they saw an opportunity. Commander X ordered his science team to capture it. The ship was damaged, seemingly abandoned. The humans called it the Defender. It was small compared to Kelvin dreadnoughts, barely 200 meters long. "Bring it to the research station," Rix commanded. "We will learn their secrets." The Kelvin had fought many species. They had conquered the insectoid hive worlds. They had crushed the crystal beings of Talar Prime. But humans were new. Humans were expanding fast. Too fast that the research station orbited a dead moon. Scientist Vorn led the analysis team. He was old, experienced, and thorough. He had dissected ships from 17 different civilizations. "Begin with the hull." Vorn ordered his assistants. They cut a sample. The metal was strange layered, like biological tissue. Each layer had a different purpose. The outer shell absorbed energy. The middle layer dispersed kinetic force. The inner wall sealed itself when breached. Impressive, Vorn admitted, but not revolutionary. Then they opened the weapons bay. The missiles inside were basic chemical rockets. Vorn laughed. "Primitive. Our plasma lances would melt these before they launched." But his assistant, a young analyst named Kell, looked confused. "Sir, why would an advanced species use such old technology?" Vorn waved the question away. "Humans are new to space. They have not learned better yet." They moved to the engine room. The reactor was compact, efficient, but nothing special. Fusion-based, like most civilizations used. The power output was adequate, but not impressive. Where is their advantage? Vorn wondered aloud. How do humans win battles? A Kelvin had heard rumors. Human ships were dangerous. Human fleets had defeated the crater raiders. They had driven back the nomad swarms. But looking at this ship, Vorn saw nothing special. Then Kell found the computer core. "Sir, this system is different." Vorn approached. The computer was distributed throughout the ship. Not one central brain, but hundreds of smaller processors, all connected, all talking to each other. Redundancy, Vorn noted. Destroy one, and the others continue. Clever, but many species do this. Kell plugged into the system carefully. He ran a translation program. Slowly, the human data became readable. The first file was labeled Combat Doctrine. Vorn opened it. He began to read. His face went pale. The doctrine was not about weapons or shields or speed. It was about something the Kelvin had never considered: information warfare. Sensor fusion. Predictive targeting. Psychological operations. The human ship didn't just fight. It thought. It learned. It adapted in real-time. Vorn opened another file. Tactical AI protocols. His hands began to shake. The human ship's computer ran thousands of battle simulations every second. It predicted enemy movements based on minimal data. It analyzed weapon signatures, engine patterns, communication frequencies. It built profiles of enemy commanders based on their decisions. "This is impossible," Vorn whispered. The processing power required ... But then he understood. The human computer wasn't more powerful. It was more efficient. It prioritized differently. While Kelvin systems calculated shield harmonics and weapon yields, human systems calculated probability and intent. Kell found the combat logs. Recordings of actual battles. They watched in silence. The Defender had faced 3 crater raiders. The raiders were faster, more heavily armed. But the human ship knew where they would be before they got there. It fired not at where the raiders were, but where they would move to dodge. Every shot hit. The human captain never gave direct orders. The AI handled micro-decisions. The captain only provided strategic goals. Disable the lead ship. Force the others to retreat. The AI did the rest. VORN realized the horrifying truth. The human ship wasn't superior because of technology. It was superior because of thinking. The Kelvin fought with strength. The humans fought with minds. How do we defend against this? Kel asked quietly. Vorn had no answer. His entire career had been about analyzing weapons, armor, and speed. But you couldn't armor against an enemy that predicted your every move. You couldn't outrun an opponent that knew where you would run. Commander RX entered the lab. What have you learned? Vorn turned slowly. His eyes were hollow. We have learned, he said quietly, that we have already lost. Asterisk aliens versus human worship and analysis. That destroyed their minds. HFY Sci-Fi, Part 2. Word count, 770 words, Part 2. The realization Commander Rix stared at Vorn. Explain yourself, now. Vorn brought up the data on the main screen. The humans do not fight like we do. They do not fight like anyone does. He showed the combat recordings again. Watch carefully. See how the human ship moves. Rix watched. The defender seemed to dance. It turned before enemies fired. It accelerated before missiles launched. It was always one step ahead. Good reflexes, Rix said. But reflexes can be overwhelmed. No, Kel interrupted. Not reflexes, prediction. He pulled up more data. The human AI runs constant analysis. It tracks everything. Engine temperature tells it when a ship will accelerate. Power fluctuations tell it when weapons will fire. Communication patterns tell it what the enemy will do next. Vorn added, and it learns. Every battle makes it smarter. Every enemy teaches it new patterns. Rix felt cold. How many battles has this ship seen? Kel checked the logs. 247 engagements. Against 14 different species. 247 lessons. 247 teachers. Show me its weaknesses, Rix demanded. VORN searched the files. He found the damage reports, the maintenance logs, the repair schedules. His face grew darker with each file. The ship repairs itself, he said quietly. The crew can fix critical systems in hours. Components are modular, standardized. A damaged sensor can be replaced with parts from navigation. A broken weapon can be rebuilt using engine components. Everything is backup for everything else, Kel added. Rix clenched his fists. What about the crew? Surely they have weaknesses. Vorn opened the personnel files. The crew was small. Only 38 humans. The Kelvin needed 200 soldiers to operate a ship this size. But these 38 were not specialists. They were generalists. The engineer could pilot. The pilot could fight. The medic could repair systems. Every human could do multiple jobs. They train for this, Vorn explained. Years of preparation. Every crew member is ready to replace any other crew member. Rix felt his confidence crumbling. There must be something. A tactical weakness. A design flaw. Kel found something. Sir, look at this. The human weapons are short-range. Their missiles are slow. Their armor is thin compared to ours. Rix seized on this. There, we outgun them. We have superior firepower. But Vorn shook his head slowly. They know this. And they do not care. He pulled up another tactical file. Human doctrine accepts these weaknesses. They designed around them. They use speed and prediction to get close. They use deception to avoid our heavy weapons. They strike where we are weakest, then escape before we can respond. They fight like water, Vorn continued. We are stone. strong, hard, immovable. But water finds the cracks. Water flows around obstacles. Water wears down stone, given time. Rick slammed his hand on the console. Then we adapt. We learn from them. With what? Vorn asked bitterly. Our A is cannot think like theirs. Our training cannot match theirs. Our military doctrine is 3,000 years old, built on overwhelming force and superior technology. The humans are only 300 years into space travel, and they have already surpassed us in the only thing that truly matters. What is that? Rix asked. Evolution, Vorn said. They evolved fighting each other. Humans warred with humans for thousands of years. Every weapon, every tactic, every strategy was tested against equally intelligent opponents. They learned to think like their enemies, because their enemies thought like them. He gestured at the data. We conquered primitive species. We crushed opponents with superior technology. We never needed to outsmart anyone. We just needed to be stronger. But the humans? They had to be clever to survive. They had to adapt or die. Their entire military philosophy is built on fighting equals, fighting themselves. Kell spoke softly. We are not prepared for an enemy that thinks. Rix stood in silence. Around him, his analysts looked defeated. They had dissected the ship, analyzed every system, read every file. And they realized the truth. The ship was not special. The technology was not revolutionary. There was no secret weapon, no hidden advantage. The advantage was the mind behind it. The human mind. Flexible, adaptive, creative, relentless. What do we do? Rix finally asked. Vorn looked at the silent human ship floating in their hangar. Small, damaged, seemingly harmless. We pray, he said quietly, that they never build a fleet. But Rix knew the truth. The humans already had a fleet. And it was coming. Asterisk.